brainstorming about you, paragraphs about you. What makes you unique? What can you bring to the program? So sit down and think. Notice we are talking about thinking. We're not writing yet. Think, literally. What experiences made you unique? Did you do any volunteering? Did you have like any achievements? For example, like even if it's something simple, I've been interviewing people this month for their US application, and like small things people don't mention, but they have a huge effect. I remember this applicant who was like, she was part of Women in Medicine, and she gave a talk, and I was like, why you are not talking about it when it comes to interviews or personal statement? This is very important, especially right now. It's a very hot topic, making sure that there is an equality between males and females, and there is enough representation from both genders in medicine. So you have to bring up those things. What achievements you've done in the last 5 years? Anything that make you resilient. Have you gone through any experience that made you more resilient? For example, you overcome illness, you overcome war, you survived, you came to medical school from really difficult background. You are international medical graduates who are applying but who had to go through lots of difficulties back in their country. I remember one of the INGs that I interviewed last year to share their experience. So this guy was very inspiring. He wanted to match in Canada. He left everything in Brazil. He sold his place and he took the money and he came here to match in Canada, literally. And when I think about it, like it's easier to match in the US when compared to Canada for international graduates, but it's not impossible. And this guy like chose to come to Canada, literally. So I think that's an experience that he should talk about and address in his personal statement. Did you do any advocacy work? Did you do any leadership? And that brings us to the CAN-MED roles. So think anything like, have you done anything that showed that you are a good communicator? Have you done anything that shows that you are a collaborator? You played basketball. That means you are a collaborator. You know how to play in a team. Anything that shows that you're a good leader. Anything that shows that you are an advocate. You volunteered. You gave, like for example, one of my friends, she started like a small volunteering movement in my program, and she like asked residents if they are willing to participate by giving like Christmas hampers, I think, for like low-income families in Ottawa, which is like amazing, right? Because like that is considered health advocate. Like remember that as a physician, you are not only a medical expert. You have to advocate for patients. You have to lead teams to advocate for to become a medical expert. You have to collaborate with other like healthcare workers, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, diabetic nurse educator. You have to communicate with them, and you have to be very professional, and that's what makes you a physician. And you have to read literature to keep up to date. So any experience, for example, if you work in research, any experience you can highlight from your background or from your life that can also fit into one of the CAN-MED framework or roles. Okay, each paragraph should be around 100 to 200 words. If you can't find the right number of words to describe that paragraph or to describe that experience, so that means replace that experience. And remember that authenticity is very important. You have to be true to yourself and true to the person who is reading your personal statements. And this is very important. Do not write what do you think the program wants to hear. No, that comes off as inauthentic. If a program is like interested in researchers, and for example, and you hate research, don't go and sell that program that you want to do research. Sell them something else. If you like teaching, for example, research is not one of my strengths. I do like doing it, but I wouldn't come and sell myself as a great researcher. I'm not a researcher. I love doing research. I don't have lots of publications, but I love the process of asking questions and finding answers. And I'm just still very young in the research process. I'm teaching myself right now. So if you are invited to interview, if you highlight something in your personal statement that is not authentic, they will figure it out in the interview. So be authentic.